Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I'm super excited to be joined by my friend Zac, and we have so much to talk about. But Zac, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good. I'm very good. Yeah. A lot to talk about. A lot to talk about. Every couple of days is something new. It really is.
It really is. And just to share with everybody, kind of like one of my favorite stories, like I was at Stamford Bridge in October. There were
Yeah.
so many people around. So the crowd kind of opens up, and there's Zac. And I just like, I didn't know he was going to be there. I mean, you could just see him, and we just ran into each other, and that was so fun. I just remember I was like, Zac, hi.
Yeah, it was. We just ended up bumping into each other, and then you came. And then I'm pretty sure I saw you a couple of days later, like when you came to the studio and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
It was
Yeah,
so
mad
fun.
world.
But fun stories over here on the channel. Anyways, let's get into what everybody really wants to talk about. Obviously, we're recording this on Friday evening, whatever time you're watching this, if it's before Middlesbrough, after. We're recording this on Friday evening. The draw happened just a couple of hours ago. You messaged me beforehand that you wanted Bayern Munich. We still got a pretty tough opponent, though. How are you feeling about it?
Yeah, no. The reason I wanted Bayern was like, and then to be fair, you made a good point that we didn't have Chilwell, which I actually had forgotten about. But like, I wanted to test us, considering they beat us quite comfortably 2 years before that, or three-ish, and then obviously we then won the Champions League the year after. Like, I kind of wanted to see the levels of where they were at, the two clubs. But yeah, maybe without Chilwell, it might have been a little bit unfair. Maybe we'll deal with them next season,
Yeah.
or possibly in the final. Yeah, no. But Real Madrid, man, Real Madrid's really, really good. Like, we've gone from having never faced them in the Champions League to now facing them twice in 2 years, which I thought was a bit mad. I'm excited for it. Like, I think it's going to be a better Real Madrid side than we faced last year. And to be honest, as long as like someone like Reece James is back, I always feel confident. And even if he's not, I still feel pretty confident. Like, I think Real Madrid are very, very good. But as well as they came back against PSG, I thought PSG were really bad and gave them a lot of opportunities, which Chelsea, I think, recently have stopped doing. So yeah, I back us to beat them.
I love your optimism, because as soon as the draw happened and I was live streaming, I was just like, oh God. And I actually screamed so much that my husband had to shut the door because he was in a work meeting. And I was like, sorry, oops. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just like a little bit nervous because I think, like you said, even though PSG didn't play well in that home leg, we kind of saw what the power of the Bernabeu does, and I thought that it spoke really highly of them to come back from 2 goals down to then go on to win the game 3-2. But like you said, Chelsea hopefully aren't going to give them so many opportunities.
Mendy won't dilly dally on the ball. He'll just punt it up there, and we'd have to worry about what.
Yeah, we're not gonna have that happen.
Yeah.
Hopefully. How are you feeling about Chelsea's back line? Because obviously, Reece James and Ben Chilwell have been out for a while.
Yeah.
Obviously, Reece James is coming back. Hopefully for the long term this time. But that left hand side is still a position that we don't quite have a clear. I don't want to say clear player because Alonso does play there, but we see Tuchel kind of switching the system a bit between a back four and a back five, depending on the opponent, because Ben Chilwell is out. So how are you feeling about Chelsea's likelihood of beating Real Madrid, knowing that we're not at the same exact strength that we were last season?
Yeah, I think it's a really good point. As long as Reece James is playing, I feel confident. Like, when we are missing Chilwell and Reece James, it really, really does hit us hard, because you miss that like attack from both wings. When at least you have one of them, or it being Reece James, your right side is so dominant, and we saw when he was back just for a couple of games how important he can be, getting goals, getting assists. Like, he's so important to the way Chelsea play. And so if he's back, and I would like to believe that he would be, like, he might not feature against Middlesbrough, and then I don't know whether he is going to go away with England. But if not, then that's even more time to kind of recover. He's apparently already seemingly, again, fingers crossed, he seemingly is on the mend and isn't that far away anyway. So it should be, if he doesn't get any more injuries, he should be okay. And then I actually think recently, like, we're starting to put it about a bit more. Like, I kind of feel like the way Thomas Tuchel is in knockout competitions in the Champions League, he's so smart. he'll go into both games with different game plans depending on the scenarios that are facing us, whether we have got injuries, whether we are winning or we are losing on aggregate. And I back him to kind of get it right. I mean, I was so impressed last year when every single time I was like, why has he done this? Why has he done that? He proved me wrong every single time. And obviously he's the Premier League manager and I'm not. But yeah, I do back us. Like, I do think Real Madrid are good and I do think they have improved. But I don't necessarily think they're that much better than they may have been last year. And I thought last year we really, really did put them to the sword, especially in the knockout football. I mean, the game at Stamford Bridge, the second leg, like that could have been 4 or 5-0.
That's what I was just gonna say. Yeah, it's so true. And I think even like away against PSG, I thought that they had a super poor performance, super poor. So there's definitely a shot. I'm not sure. We were just talking about this backstage, but I'm not sure about the order of the fixtures as it stands now. I believe that Chelsea are going to be playing at home first, and then Real Madrid will be playing at home. I think there were some rumors going around that since Atletico won La Liga last season, then Real Madrid couldn't play the knockout stage at home in the second leg because that's an advantage. So Real Madrid tweeted that they are playing at home in the second leg. So I'm kind of going with that. Nizar, I also saw says that, I don't know, maybe this might not be the case. So TBD on that. I guess we'll get some clarity. But the other thing, Zach, is that we don't know if Chelsea fans will be allowed either game, really.
Yeah, we don't. I mean, it's kind of like Chelsea's been for the past couple of weeks now. No one really knows much, and just kind of dealing with it as it comes. One moment we're not playing with the sponsors on our shirts, and then we've got them on our shirts. So it's. I don't really think.
I'm so gullible as well. When I saw that, I was like, "Oh my god, they're going to go to a training store just to get like plain blue shirts."
Sports Direct, just pick up some shirts. Look, I think personally, like, I think there's two kind of avenues here. Like, if we've got new owners by that point, then I think it's going to be all okay. And I assume things will get back to normal pretty quickly, at least from a kind of match day experience. And that's the way it seems to be going. But at least from Twitter and the news anyway, it seems to be that Chelsea have all these bidders and that today is the last day they can put their bids in. And after that, there's only going to be 3 or 4 that they're going to pick. And then within a week, we might have a new owner, and that'll be before the Champions League game. And so things might be sorted quite quickly in that front. If you want my opinion, I personally think it'll probably get sorted, and there will be fans at the games, because at the end of the day, whatever the sanctions may be, and whether you think they're right or wrong, the fact that fans can't go to the games is really sad. And these guys that they kind of live for the weekend, or to go and watch Chelsea, or to go on an away trip to Madrid to go watch Chelsea versus Real Madrid, these are like once in a lifetime opportunities at times. And the fact that might not happen is quite sad. So hopefully that is fixed. And I don't know, personally think it will be sorted, and I hope it is anyway. But yeah. I mean, I think it's very much just a kind of wait, give it another week, and then we could have a very different owner.
Yeah, I hope so. Just to, like, for me, I'm such a planner. So I would have, if we were allowed to go, I would 1,000% try to go to both legs. Like, if I had the opportunity. I have no idea how to get a ticket here. I live in Madrid. I don't know how to get a ticket for the game. Like, I don't. I'm not a socio of Real Madrid. But hopefully that's the case. Even if Chelsea fans aren't allowed, I don't know. Maybe I can like infiltrate the enemy territory over there,
or at least just pretend to.
I know. I was thinking about that. Like, oh, this would be really awkward if Chelsea, and I wouldn't be able to contain myself, and I would get a lot of really bad.
That might be an issue. That might be an issue.
Are you gonna try to come to Madrid over here to see the game?
If possible, like I'll definitely try. Whether I'm successful in that is another question. I'll have to wait and see. Really, like as I said, I think things are so touch and go at the moment that it's very much just kind of seeing once it's an opportunity, if it's available, to then go and do it. But if possible, yeah, like I do want to try and go on a bit more like like away trips, and whether that is football or even just leaving the country in general. I do want to try and do that a bit more. So that gives me a good excuse to come to Madrid for sure.
So, yeah, you can come. I can show you around, have some tapas,
Perfect.
cerveza, vino, whatever you
Well,
like,
is Estrella Spanish?
What?
Is Estrella a Spanish beer? Is that Spanish?
I have no idea. I don't drink beer.
Okay. Okay. Fair.
If you ask me, I don't know much about wine. I just drink a lot of wine.
I'm sure decent red wines. You can show me a few things of red wines. That'd be fine.
Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds perfect. So the draw for the quarterfinal happened today, but also the draw for the semifinal.
Yes.
Another Premier League rival of ours, Man City, is facing a Madrid rival, Atlético de Madrid, and so that's pretty crazy as well. So if we do go past into the semis, we will 1,000% face a team that we faced last year. Like the road to the final is quite similar. Even you have the possibility of having a Chelsea Man City, which was the final last year. I think that's kind of something that is always shocking to me. Like it really is a little bit of luck, because that was a final last year and that could be just a semi-final this year. But who do you see going through between those two sides?
Oh, that is a really good question. Look, I think favourites is going to be Man City. They're favourite for the tournament. I think it's pretty easy to say them. But it is two completely different styles of football. Simeone doesn't mind not having the ball as often as Pep Guardiola, whose whole career is about keeping the ball, or the way he wants his team to play is about keeping the ball and dominating matches. And so it'll be really, really interesting. Like I haven't quite seen a Man City team play someone who is so good at doing what Simeone's Atleti do. And so I'll be very, very intrigued to see what happens. And maybe part of me is the kind of I don't know why I love watching Simeone's Atleti and seeing them just frustrate opponents and the dark arts. And as much as it's awful when it's your team playing against them, I completely understand. But when you're seeing it, it does give me a little bit of happiness, because football nowadays is also pass and beautiful goals. Just seeing him just absolutely take the piss is brilliant. So yeah, no, but if I'm being completely honest, I probably expect Man City to edge them. However, I also wouldn't be surprised if Atleti got a result and managed to get past, whether that was through frustrating them or whatever it might be. But I just think City are so good and create so many opportunities that I think they'll probably best them, which would then mean if we do get past Real Madrid, again, touch wood, you're right, it would be the final from last year in the semis, and that would be really interesting.
Yeah, I hate playing English teams in the 20s. I really hate. I just can't take the banter. If we lose against Real Madrid, I'm okay, it's fine. But if we lose against City, I'm oh damn it, because we play that fixture all the time.
Yeah,
it's 50-50 really.
It is. And in terms of a narrative, right, it's all in City's favour. They lost to them in the final last year. Chelsea won the Champions League. They're facing them in the semi-final.
Oh, God, I can't.
Best them. And if they do, they then finally get to that competition again. So the narrative is all in their favour. But I really, really do back Thomas Tuchel in these knockout tournaments. I think he's so smart with the way he plays his football. Yeah. And at least with the squad that he's got, even though maybe during the summer I probably did quite believe that we could have done better in the Premier League and we could have been title challengers if we didn't have injuries. We did, so it didn't quite work out. But at least over 2 legs and knockout football, I think he's so good at it. I honestly do. The way he's so intelligent to make 2 finals in a row. Maybe he'll make a 3rd one in a row. We'll see.
Could you imagine? That would be pretty. I know that Real Madrid did it, but that would be so incredibly insane. I think it's just it just speaks so much to him who he is as a manager, and I really back him. You think we're gonna see an all English final again? Because obviously Liverpool are on the other side. They have to. I'm assuming Liverpool and Bayern Munich beat Villarreal and Benfica. So I'm just assuming that that's already the semifinal. I could be wrong. We could see an upset, but they're 2 of the favorites to win. So you think we'll see Liverpool versus the English team?
It's a good question. It's a good question. I think if one was to cause an upset, it would be Villarreal, because they are also kind of a bit of a pain to play against. But again, I would also think it would be Bayern Munich and Liverpool. It'd be interesting. I think it'd be really interesting to see whether there's any injuries to key players, like if Bayern Munich are missing maybe one of the stars,
Yeah,
or
or they did, yeah.
Liverpool are. They played each other a few years back. I remember Van Dijk and Mane, that ball from Van Dijk where Mane brings it down and destroys Manuel Neuer, and Liverpool did better then. And recently, with the way Liverpool been playing, I'd probably back them to beat Bayern Munich at the moment. But I think it's hard to call because the teams that we're seeing at the moment in March might be very, very different to the teams that we're seeing in late April. And early May. So I think it will be very interesting to see what players are available. So I'll probably make my decision then, but if you need an answer, I would say yes, probably an all-English final.
It's crazy if you think about the dominance of English teams in the Champions League recently, and how there's really been that switch, because it was Liverpool versus Spurs, Chelsea versus City. I think this year it's very likely that we'll see again an all-English final. Like I said, I don't like all English finals. Like I'd like to see kind of like the fixtures that you don't see in the Premier League every single year, or just for any team really. I like seeing two teams from different leagues go up against each other, but I think there's a good chance of it yet again. I'm nervous. I'm nervous, Zac, but hopefully we can get through it. I do want to switch gears a bit because Chelsea are going to be playing Middlesbrough tomorrow in the FA Cup. Obviously, there's a lot of noise around that. I'm hoping that the players can just tune it out as they have been doing.
Oh, they're pros at it now. They're pros at tuning things out nowadays, I think.
Yeah. I don't know how they do it, because like I've been feeling really down about everything that's been going on. I'm not in the limelight. Like I just put out videos and it's been hard for me. So I can imagine how they're dealing with it, and massive props to them. But you know, we've I don't think that we've played amazingly the past couple of games, and it makes complete sense why we haven't, given everything. But like you said, they've become pros at tuning out. Middlesbrough have knocked out some really good teams, though, to get to this position. How are you feeling about this game, knowing as well that it's Middlesbrough away?
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of talk before the game, a lot of talk, as there has been really for the past couple of games, and I think it's going to be no different, especially after probably the social media stuff that we saw between the two clubs, and so. Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting game. It's not. I don't think Chelsea are gonna be battering them 3-0 or anything like that. I think it could be a 1-0, a 2-1, maybe go to extra time. I wouldn't be too shocked if that was the case. I think you'll probably see a fairly strong Chelsea side. Maybe you see Kai Havertz, maybe you see Lukaku. I'm not too sure on that front. But this is a Middlesbrough side, as you said, who have knocked out Manchester United. They've knocked out Tottenham Hotspur. They've done this before. Like, it wouldn't be a surprise to see them knock out another Premier League side. But again, we are the favourites. Like, going into this game, you should be expecting Chelsea to put them to the sword and beat them. And as I said, maybe not a 3-0 victory, maybe a tight 1-0, 2-1, something like that. Maybe goes to penalties. I wouldn't be too surprised if that happened as well. But yeah, no, I do expect Chelsea to win, and it'll be interesting to see who he selects, because maybe does he play Reece James and try and give him some minutes in that, which would be quite nice to see. But yeah, it'll be interesting, that's for sure.
Do you know if Reece James? I haven't seen anything. So do you know if he's like? I saw that he was a potential.
Yeah, so I'm
ready.
not too sure personally. I know. I think Hudson-Odoi's out. But Reece, I'm not too sure. That's why I've also feel like I can't remember whether I've seen him say whether he is available or not. But if he is, like, it might be quite nice to give him like a little 10-minute run out. Like, I'll be very surprised if he goes to the England camp. That would shock me, considering how he's just come back from injury and stuff like that. But yeah, no, I think this will be a match there. I expect like Mason Mount to start. Like, we played quite a conservative team against the Champions League boys in Lille a couple of days ago, and so I expect probably a bit more of an attacking team in this one. Maybe you see a Kova Kante midfield, and then you've got a Mason Mount, Kai Havertz, Pulisic kind of front three. So yeah, I think it'll be interesting, and overall, I think we'll get the win.
I hope so. And I think something also interesting to know is against Lille, I kind of got the impression that the team was trying to just see that game out like, oh, we already have a 2-goal advantage. Let's
Yeah,
not
exactly.
waste some energy unnecessarily, given that we do have this important FA Cup tie. And as we know, Chelsea love the FA Cup. We love playing in it.
Yeah.
And so I kind of got that feeling as well. Like a couple of like Mason didn't start the game. Maybe he's rested for this. Something that I have been loving recently is the Pulisic and Havertz link up. I just feel like they play pretty well together. Like when they play together, I feel like one of them usually gets a goal, and they've been super impressive recently. What do you think?
Yeah, Havertz is really stepping up, really stepping up. We're starting to. I think he's playing in his best position in this Chelsea side at the moment as the striker. People say false nine. It's not really a false nine. He is that guy up top doing the job for us, and he's doing a good job at that. Like even against Newcastle, his last minute run that he does is an unbelievable run. I mean, the touch, the goal's fantastic. The ball by Jorginho is incredible. But throughout that game, he was probably our most dangerous player, and it feels like he has been for the past couple of games recently. His finishing, I think, is fantastic. I think he's really starting to get there. The gears are starting to move for Kai Havertz, and that it'll be interesting to see how the rest of this season goes. Because what we want is to see him keep going, and then the start of next season start off like that and only get better and better. There are days where I forget that like he's younger than Mason Mount, which always shocks me. And so yeah, I think he's been really good. Pulisic was really good in the Champions League because I found recently some of Pulisic's games haven't been that great. Yeah. Some of them have been much better, and I think he is starting to get towards much better. And I think for him, he needs that consistency, the consistency of game and knowing what position he's going to be playing. Is he right wing back today? Is he right? This one, he knows that he's going to be playing in that position, his best position. And so, yeah, they have been linking up really well. And so I'd be excited. I think as I said, wouldn't be too shocked to see those two also start against Middlesbrough and cause some havoc. And yeah, I'd be, I think those two in general are really starting to find some form.
Yeah, something that I've been saying that even though Christian Pulisic had been playing, he hadn't been playing in his preferred position. And so it's not surprising to me that we see him start to get like his best run of form when he's playing at left wing, because I think that's where he feels the most comfortable, and we see that he's really making like these runs into the box. He's one of the only players I feel that really like gets it. He's so good at reading the game and like getting into the 6-yard box and knowing where the ball's going to be. I know that he practices that a lot, and we see a lot of his goals kind of come from that. And yeah, I just think that he's been super impressive recently in his preferred position, which I love. And like you said, Havertz has been phenomenal. That goal against Newcastle was so well taken, incredible. So I think that we'll probably see them. It's interesting that Lukaku has been on the bench, but I think given the form of Kai Havertz, you can't bench him. You can't bench him right now, and Lukaku hasn't been in form. So it is what it is. And I think that Tuchel has done really well to give both kind of a run of a couple of games and see who takes off. And Kai has been the one who has been. So I'm nervous for this game because, like you said, they've knocked out United, they've knocked out Spurs. They have that belief that they can knock out a Premier League club. And I think they're going to be a bit, I don't know, like they're going to want to do it even more because of the statement that we wanted the game behind closed doors.
Yeah, that'll really put some
like
fire
fuel them.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be a tight one. Like I wouldn't be surprised if we went 1-0 down, like we have against a few teams, like against who was it a couple of weeks ago that we played?
Well, against Lille, we went
1-0 down. Also, I think in the FA Cup game recently that we went 1-0 down, and then we went 1-1, then we went 2-1 down. Like that's how it's been a bit recently. We go down and then we got to try and fight our way back. So I wouldn't be too shocked if that was to also have against Luton. That was it.
Oh, Luton, yes.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be too surprised if that was also the way it happened as well tomorrow. But I'd also love like a good 3-0 win. Like put your foot down, like all this pressure that was on, and then within 45 minutes you're 2-0 up or something like that. That would be the perfect way. Don't think it's probably going to go that way, but that is what I'm dreaming of course.
I think that's what anybody should like. 10-0 win. Let's just go for it.
Exactly. God, I'd do a lot of that.
I always joke like the team hasn't gotten like the same goal difference since I haven't been at Stamford Bridge. For 2 games, they scored 11 goals.
Yeah, yeah, they did. Yeah.
Which is pretty mad. So if you had to make a score prediction for the game tomorrow, what would it be?
Oh, let's say 2-0. Let's say 2-0. I'll be a bit confident. I probably assume Thiago Silva will be playing, and that normally eases my nerves at the back. So yeah, 2-0 for me.
Interesting. I'm going for 2-1.
I think that's also fair enough.
I always err on the side of caution with these things. I do think and hope that we will get the win, but I think they're going to put up a big fight. They also have home team advantage, like we've been saying. They've done well in this competition, and they have nothing to lose, really. Like, they'll just go all guns blazing in this game. So, yeah, I don't know. Let's hope for the best. But, Zac, thanks so much for joining. I know you're very busy, so I don't want to take any more time. I really appreciate you coming on. And if anybody happens to not know you, let them know where they can find you.
Yeah, just my name, Zac Djellab, on Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. On YouTube, I do a bunch of stuff on the Chelsea YouTube channel and also on Football Daily. Check that out.
Definitely. So I'll make sure to put all of Zac's links in the description box below. Make sure to follow Zac. If you like this video, sub to the channel. Helps me out, helps people find my channel as well. But I won't badger you too much about it. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, evening, whatever time of day you're watching this. And until next time, I'm out. Bye.